Ben 10 Alien Force Season 3 is a lot of things. Creative is one. Good ideas is another. It is good ideas. But execution-wise, doesn't really come together for a lot of the episodes. The 3 episodes we're talking about today don't really come together, I don't think. Nah, not for real. Ain't got much to say today, do you?
You have that moment where, like, I'm ready, right, to just riff off what you're about to say, and then I see you from the computer pan to me, and then I just go.
You freeze.
You just
Imagine they're all in their underwear, Steven.
Oh my God, they're hot.
They're hot.
No, I think, and we were having this problem. I don't have a lot of problems with the first episode we talk about with the 5th dimensional beings or 26th dimension beings.
Something, yeah.
I don't really have a lot of problems with that, other than I'm tired of seeing the Burrito Brothers.
Yeah.
But the other two have such good like core stories.
Ideas.
Yeah. Like the lore from Primus, and then like the stakes that could have been had in that like war-torn future.
Time heals, yeah.
They would have been so good, but like the premises around them are just so non-believable that it takes the air right out of them.
For sure. I would even say, like, with the Busy Box episode, that could have been cooler because all it did was copy them, you know what I mean? Like, it's from some other dimension, like, higher plane of existence, but all it can do is copy people.
I guess you're saying, like, I'm taking it as it is as a goofy episode, right? It's a good goofy episode, but you're saying it could have been more than just a goofy episode. It could have been a more serious episode.
Yeah, I guess something like we've had concepts like that in other media, like the Adaptroid from Marvel and Amazo from DC. So we've already known of these concepts of like a robot kind of copying. And
we even
spitting
have
back
one
out.
in Ben 10. It's called
What?
The robot with the hand.
The Techodons?
The Techodons.
Well, they don't copy what you know.
Techodon does this thing.
That's in Promise. I think the beginning of Promise.
Crawls around. Like
it's like the Thing, like when the guy's head pops off and it's like another little guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're talking about those 3 episodes today: Primus, Time Heals, and Busy Box.
Busy Box.
You can skip around in the little time bar to find out which episode we're talking about. If you want to skip to a certain episode or not,
Absolutely.
Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, whatever we got.
Yeah, anything you think of, you know.
Just interact with this video as much as possible, please, and thank you.
Yeah,
we love you.
We're desperate.
We're not desperate, but we do have a comment highlighted from. We have 2 comments from last week. We did a Wrath episode and the magic is back thing, or the dark magic is whatever it was.
Yeah, you know, you saw the episode.
You saw it,
Surely
you saw it. We're gonna comment.
Don't call me Shirley.
Shut up, dude. We're gonna highlight Mike Lightning 12's comment. One of our boys, he's in the Discord a lot. Go join the Discord if you wanna. He says, "To me, I'm of the mind that only Merc Upchuck UAF design has one tongue and can eat both real foods and materials to further differentiate both upchucks and subspecies." I like the idea that there would be more distinctions because I don't think there is. Like, it's never specified really what the difference is between Perk and Merc besides just their design.
Yeah, I have a problem with it. I know I was talking to you about it because we were discussing this, but my problem with the Merc and Perk differentiations.
Both designs named after the
creators,
designer, yeah.
Which we get, and it's a cool thing, but I feel like it's just for some reason this part has been so blown out of proportion. Like, it's just a simple redesign that didn't even need to be addressed because you could have just brought both of them into Omniverse without drawing attention to it.
Yeah,
we see Heat Blast gets a noticeable change from Ben 10 Classic
to different art styles.
Yeah, to Alien Force. I would say in the same vein as
Cannonbolt's a good example.
Yeah, Cannonbolt too.
Yeah.
He's got straight teeth, right? Instead of those pointy, similar teeth. His face takes up more of his body.
Different color.
Yeah. And then you've got
still yellow, but he's like a more pastel yellow.
Yeah, and then you've got Heat Blast, who's more muscled, more beefy.
Diamond Head.
If you interrupt me one more time,
I'm just giving you examples.
I'm going to throw the mic. Diamond Head's not as big of a difference because he's just wearing like a hood.
Yeah,
right.
Different outfit.
But with like Heat Blast, he's more thick, more muscled out in the Ben 10 Classic. He's thinner in this one. He's darker, like more like.
Are you talking about Alan or Heat Blast?
Both are pretty much in the same vein.
Alan would make sense because he's a younger hybrid, so he's supposed to look.
The jury's still out on the age of the aliens from Ben 10 Classic.
I thought you were about to say the jury's still out if he's half alien. I was about to be like, boy, you're the one who hates all that.
But my thing is those are drastic differences too that didn't need to be explained as much as this didn't need to be explained. So there's 2 designs. Bring them both in. Don't bring attention to it.
It really mucks up the whole subspecies thing. Really mucks up like what the Omnitrix can do.
Exactly.
Because like there used to be a rule at some point where it's like if it's too close to human DNA, Ben can't actually turn into it. But now he could potentially turn into like a mutant or something because it's a subspecies.
Exactly. Well, and it's cool. I respect the guy for bringing in both artists' work. Just to
Thomas Perkins and Glenn Murakami, Perk and Merc.
Yeah, but creative. The differences aren't that drastic that you have to make a whole subspecies, in my opinion. For it,
I think in his mind it was like, oh, this is a fun little detail that fans of the production of the show will like.
Yeah.
And then who really cares if you don't like? It's not a big enough deal to dislike it really. Mm-hmm. But then you get people like, oh, this is a subspecies. That's a whole new world of opportunities.
And then they bring in all this like thoughts to it. It's like, quit reading so deep into it. You've read so deep into it that you ruin the goodwill of what this was supposed to be.
For sure.
But anyway. That being said.
Thank you for the comment, Lightning.
Absolutely.
Do you have a comment from the Wrath episode?
Well, thank you. I'm so glad you asked. I do. This one comes from Akira Evangelion Ultimate Alien 5199. Yes, he's really good, but this episode he debuts him in is bad. It's so self-contained, which is the problem. There's way too much things happening, and it does ruin it a bit for me. It should have been introduced in another episode, or probably Ultimate Alien would have been better. So it is a little contradicting here. It's too self-contained, but then there's so much happening. It can't be both. I don't think you can have a self-contained and too much happening.
Do you mean like they need more time to kind of develop some of the ideas going on here?
Yeah, and my problem is I would rather have self-contained episodes that introduce new aliens, because if not, then the introduction is kind of undervalued because you're trying to propel this overall plot. Like, if you introduce a new alien while in War of the Worlds, which I know we brought up, it takes away from the fact that we're in War of the Worlds, right? So if you introduce Wrath in a pivotal moment, it takes away from Wrath's introduction because of the pivotal moment. I'd rather have Wrath like we did with, not Humongous Worm, Cannonbolt, when we did with Wildvine, where they both had self-contained episodes. Ben Wolf as well. Yeah. Which would later on go on to be actually a continuous plot line. It wasn't self-contained.
What do you mean? Oh, like the purple lightning thing?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But even like it took the whole episode for us getting used to that one transformation.
Yeah.
Which I can see both working. I think I like both ways. It doesn't, as long as it's important and it feels important, it's not like Jury Rig who just comes out of nowhere and it's like.
Fast Track.
Fast Track is a perfect example.
They get completely looked over. You don't get to highlight their abilities, what makes them different. If they had an episode dedicated to Fast Track, I guarantee you the public reception of them would have been a lot different.
I guess the Jury Rig episode too, that's about Ben like not knowing how to use new aliens. Remember all that?
Yeah.
But I guess it's kind of more special than something like Fast Track that gets no fanfare or no introduction. I think that's a big part of the reason no one, or at least for a long time until a certain YouTuber made a certain video, that people didn't like Fast Track is because like he didn't get any special attention, and it felt like they were just trying to like blindside us by here's another fast alien. But when you get like an episode like Wrath where we get to really highlight his abilities and kind of see what he's about and how his personality affects the Omnitrix and stuff, it's cool. It's great.
It absolutely is.
But I can also see that where it's a pivotal moment, like you get a way big introduction, like crap, this is a new guy, you know what I mean? And it's like a huge moment, and it's like we get this guy. It's like Ben's power just upscaled a lot when he got that.
You think that, but when way big is a specific case because like he's way big.
Yeah.
All you need to know about him is he's huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wrath is so much more complex, and he's funny. He's got a lot of heart behind the character. Way big was just, hey, we need a big guy. You know what I mean?
We need a Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, something that just saves the day.
Fix whatever's going on.
Like an Alien X before Alien X.
Essentially. He's probably power ranking wise, probably right below.
Yeah.
Alien X. What about like Nanomech, something like that, where he just shows up to like fix the whole plot of that movie?
Yeah, I never watched that movie.
You saw it? You never saw it?
No.
Oh, we'll have to watch
After
that
I watched
soon,
the
then.
live action Ben 10 Classic, I was like, okay, live action is not the way to go on a Cartoon Network budget. I am not watching this.
Okay, we'll have to watch it then. We'll prove you wrong.
Maybe. But yeah, thank you for those comments, guys. We really appreciate them. We like when these videos spur on conversations, obviously, and there's a lot of conversations to be had with the Ben 10 community.
For sure.
But yeah, if you guys want your comments highlighted, be sure to comment on this video, and we'll get one of you guys next week.
Thank you guys for tuning into Binge Warmers. My name is Hopper, the log dropper.
My name is Steven. I drop logs, but I'm not advertising it. Yeah. Busy Box.
We're going to start with Busy Box, actually.
Yeah.
Box was not really busy unless you made it busy.
Yeah, it was very... there was a lot of idiocy from the team in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because me and you saw right away, the Box is just mimicking everything they do.
He was saying exactly what... I think they even say, like, oh, he's just copying us.
Yeah, but then they forget, right?
They start to fight it.
It's like a whole 5-minute intro where they're fighting this, and then Gwen goes, no, it's just copying us. It's only fighting because we're fighting. And it's like, you should have come to that conclusion 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. I like that it's doing as well as it can to kind of mimic what they're doing. Like Gwen is throwing out mana discs, and it just like makes like a little metal disc and throws it.
Yeah, she's
trying to like levitate and like levitate and meditate at the same time, and it like drops on the floor.
Yeah. I like how it mimics Kevin, and Kevin Kevin can see how much of an idiot he sounds like sometimes.
Yeah,
but he's also like, let's take this sexy. Like a second ago, he's like, I don't trust him. He's like, let's take this sexy guy back into the car and go check him out.
Kevin's like low key, like touching on it. Like,
yeah.
Ooh, got some muscles there, don't you?
I'm into myself.
I get to look at myself naked.
Yeah.
Is that a good reference?
It is a good reference.
Yeah, this reminded me a little too much of Albedo.
Yeah.
Because it was just Ben's aliens going bad. But like, it's fun to see Ben's aliens fight each other.
Yeah.
That's why it's really fun to see like all the multiverse stuff that we get like super later down the line, Omniverse.
I don't like the choice of the Verito brothers. Again, like you said, they're just put in this season because of their comedy and how they want season 3 to be different to the first 2 seasons. I don't find them funny. I think they're stupid. And us getting the Verito brothers in 2 episodes back to back into this one and then into Con of Wrath.
Yeah.
It's just exhausting for me, man. I can't stand them.
Did you like that they die canonically in this?
I did. It was so satisfying.
Was it satisfying?
It was so satisfying.
I think it's smart to have some other character that would only be violent towards it or show it violent things to kind of make it as violent as it is.
Yeah.
Although I don't like that it's more like an AI rather than like a copy bot because they taught it to be violent. It wasn't
and
like
it learned that and just kept going with it.
Right. It kind of adopted, even though like Ben, Gwen, and Kevin are also being violent as well. Yep. So they learned that from them as it wasn't just like a one time the Vritos made us evil kind of thing. Vritos made us evil. Almost rhymes.
Vritos made me evil.
Made me evil. But it's like it learns violence from everybody, and I assume it would learn that anyway.
We get Lodestar makes his actual official debut.
No, not true. He was in the Simple episode, unless you're not counting that.
Oh, he wasn't he?
He stole their guns or whatever.
I totally forgot about that. My problem is I don't like Lodestar that much.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a hot take or not. His design's okay. But I was telling you, his magnet powers are just so slow. Something about it is just very sluggish of an alien. And when you've got people like Magneto, when you see Lodestar, you can't help but compare him. I don't care for him that much.
I think it's a nerf of the animation. I'll put up some footage on screen of just him like, magnetizing the cars and them kind of slowly coming up and stuff.
Yeah, like when he lifts it and throws it, I'm like, this guy could have shot you 7 times in the time that it took for you to lift that car and throw it at him.
I just think he's OP. I think he looks cool because you can't kill him. He just kind of reconstitutes.
Yeah, he just reconstitutes.
Which is cool, I think. Yeah. But and I like his metal floating kind of head. I think that works. I like his hands are like tuning forks almost. It almost like a musical thing, but it's a magnet, whatever. No, I think he's good. I like his color scheme. I like his design. I just
don't care for him. Surface level, he seems like he'd be a cool alien, but then the more I watch him, I'm just like, I don't really like you that much, bud.
What bugged me about his introduction in this, Ben was trying to go for Humongosaur, but he got Lodestar, and he was like, oh, man, I got Lodestar. Brother, he's made of metal. The guy you're fighting is made of metal.
We did see that it didn't matter.
Yeah,
until the very end, he was barely able to rip him open.
I
do
guess
something. And I'm like, your whole shtick is magnets. You should be the best counter to this guy.
Couldn't you at least like grab him and put him up in the air so he wouldn't, with your little Lego hands, put him up in the air so he wouldn't do any damage?
Even Goop would be a better choice because he has the acid. Melt right through the metal.
So Ben basically shows him Swamp Fire, which he's again like metal thing. He shoots out little metal balls.
Metal balls. They remind me of the balls in front of Target.
Smaller version maybe.
Yeah. Those are some big balls at Target.
Yeah, heavy.
You ever walk by and you just smack them?
Oh, yeah.
Like the watermelons,
I sit on them sometimes. Like I go and put my little butt on them.
No, you don't.
I don't really. But I fantasize about it.
I do smack them like you smack like the rice bags. It's like a thing.
Yeah, like the mulch at Home Depot.
Yeah.
But he really only shows him Humongosaur, Spider Monkey, and Swamp Fire. So he makes like a big kind of, what would you call it? Like a
centaur thing.
He's got like a centaur feet, but like it's amalgam, almost like a what's like the lion with the scorpion and the
a manticore.
A chimera is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, well, the manticore is the lion.
Manticore is like the body of a lion, human face. It's got wings or something.
Yeah, and it's got like a scorpion tail or a snake tail. No, scorpion tail because the chimera has the snake tail.
Isn't chimera just mean like a collection of parts, like a collection of animals?
Well, there's the chimera from Greek mythology.
Like a specific thing?
Yeah, it's a specific thing. Either way, either of those work, the manticore or the chimera, if you're saying just a combination of things.
Right. So I like
he resembles a manticore more, in my opinion.
Does he? I guess kind of.
Really, well, he has the spider monkey tail.
He's got kind of a big liony face with like the combination of everything. So
like the Aztec god feather things.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I liked all that.
Cool.
He was even shooting like lasers. Kind of. You had said like, oh, this is Ultimate Humongosaur before Ultimate Humongosaur. But he's got all those abilities, and he's starting to like transform his hand into Kevin's hand, his mace hand and stuff, and punch. Again, it's just like kind of in one ear out the other. Like that's a cool design, but like all it is just like there's no like creative fighting or anything really. It's just, I'm Ben. I'm turning into Lodestar to kind of throw their stuff. Why doesn't he mimic Lodestar?
Yeah.
I'm sure. I don't know if he could do magnet powers, but maybe he could.
Yeah.
He's a robot of all things.
It's for me, it's fine as a movie. It's honestly probably the most okay I am with these 3 episodes.
Really?
If the other two, the other two had so much potential that they disappointed me on a second watch through.
Yeah.
Or not a second. I've watched them. I don't know how many times I watched those episodes. But now, in a more critical light, I'm just like, these could have been so much more.
Yeah. Well, just the idea is good. Like having this alien that can copy them, and it's almost like the Crystal Guardians from Adventure Time. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's such a stupid show.
I know, but
I really love it though.
It works so well.
That is more like 1-to-1, like you're fighting yourself. And it was more like you could tell more in the design of the fight and the design of the creature. Whereas in this, it felt more like this is doing its own thing. It's AI learning at that point.
Yeah.
I do like that it wasn't the group that made him evil. It was the Vreedles that made him evil because they're dumber and they don't understand the concept as well. Even though they were just going to sell the products,
and it also mimics their stupidity. It's like, I just need to fight things.
Yeah.
They talk about a space toll, and I'm just like, tolls are there to pay for the roads.
Yeah.
There are no roads where we're going.
There are no roads. There's no
where we're going. We won't need roads.
We won't fucking need roads, princess.
Oh, what will we?
We're going to fucking space.
Future.
We're going back to the fucking future.
Yeah.
So grab your fucking butts and let's go. Apologize for that. I'd like to just formally say I'm sorry.
That's not me anymore.
I'm a different man.
Yeah.
That was maybe second grade me.
Yeah.
We can talk a little bit about the Analgians.
Oh, the people who own the box.
Yeah. They don't have much of a design. They're just kind of like energy creatures.
They're really cool, but they come off so condescending.
Better than
I'm just like, I don't like you. Oh, there's only 26 that matter.
Yeah. They also say like, only children under 31,000 years old can.
3 million.
3 million.
Children 3 million age and up can play with this toy, and I'm just like, this is so fantastical that it's non-believable. It makes me roll my eyes.
What is the toy aspect of this at all? Like, what is the toy version?
I guess it's like a real life imaginary friend.
I guess so.
You can tell them to be anything you want, and then you go and do adventures with them.
So it reset when it hit Earth for some reason. Like
it's
just a box. Like it's not a.
It's like stasis mode, and then it comes out and mimics whatever you want it to.
Interesting. Kind of maybe the transfer to that dimension,
or maybe they can control the box. Those higher dimensional.
Oh, maybe so.
You know what I mean?
When they get to a certain age.
Yeah, exactly. Stupid.
There's a popular theory. I don't think it was ever confirmed by anybody, which I know we said creator statements are weird anyway, but never got confirmed. But Dwayne McDuffie said that there were aliens more powerful than Alien X and the Omnitrix.
Yeah.
And so people have theorized that the Analgians are actually more powerful than Alien X because they can go through different dimensions, where Alien X is really only limited to kind of his own dimension.
Yeah. So it makes you wonder, are dimensions higher than universe? Because that's the weird thing. That's where dimensions and universe... I've always thought of dimensions as parallel universes, but they're saying... Which, there are the 4 or the 3 dimensions or whatever.
Yeah.
You hear in sci-fi about, 4th or 5th dimension. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't love the idea. It's hard to think about, maybe. Does that creature even have DNA for Ben to turn into in the first place?
And the creator saying something, which I don't know. You said it was unfounded that they maybe didn't say this, but what's more powerful than Alien X?
That's the thing. Apparently there is transformations more powerful in Alien X, but he doesn't have them unlocked or anything like that.
But for that to be true, Azimuth would have to know about them.
Or, Azimuth could just have the thing to harness the power of... Like, Alien X is more powerful than Azimuth, but he can put the Alien X in the watch, you know what I mean?
I think only because Paradox got the DNA for him.
Yeah, well, true.
Allegedly.
Yeah. He scooped and splashed.
I don't know.
Nuts.
Just saying that, it just lends more credence to like power scaling for Ben 10.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like, would these creatures? That's the fan theory part of it. Is like, would the Analgians be more powerful?
Yeah.
Or is it something where because I guess they could just go to more dimensions, but can they create? Can they do all the different stuff? Yeah. Maybe just different levels of existence. I don't know.
Like, could you punch an Analgian in the face and they feel it?
Maybe. I give this episode a solid 7 for its idea and for its execution.
Yeah.
Fun to a degree. It's kind of unmemorable.
Yeah.
I remember the idea. Like, again, I remember the idea of like there being a toy that was from a different higher plane of existence, but I didn't remember the specific. Like, I couldn't remember the chimera. I could have swore we
saw the kid at some point.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, again.
But
we
didn't.
Because I guess I was mixing up this episode and the Unearthed episode. With the big green child that's stuck underground. Maybe I just mixed those up in my head for some reason.
Yeah.
What do you give it? What do you rate it?
Probably about a 6 or 7.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about all I got to say about that one. We can move on to...
Let's talk about Primus. Probably one of the most... I don't know. This one and the other one, I just get so disappointed in because in this one, you just see more and more of the decline of Vilgax. You know what I mean? And I said at the beginning, when I was looking at Vilgax, he was on his throne, and he's striking a pretty imposing presence.
Sure.
And I told you, I said, in a vacuum, this design for Vilgax isn't bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But because we saw Benton Classic Vilgax, it's hard to see him and then say that this is a good Vilgax. You know what I mean?
It's just such different energies.
Right.
We got a comment last week, and I can put it up on screen here. Thank you for commenting, and I appreciate the sentiment, I guess.
Yeah.
The sentiment was Dr. Doom is loved by his citizens, but he's a great villain. Why can't Vilgax be, loved by his citizens and also have the same aura or whatever?
Because he didn't care about his citizens in the first series.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Vilgax in the first series wasn't a complex. I think I said nuanced in the response comment. I think I said Vilgax isn't as nuanced as Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
And they maybe even hit back and were like, well, the love of his people make him nuanced. Yes, kind of, but that's not the point. The point is he was never that nuanced. He was almost a force of nature.
Yeah.
He was the big bad evil.
Some things don't need to be nuanced. Some people are evil for evil. Like, literally, the famous Batman quote, some people just like to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
That is Vilgax. He doesn't care about anything but what gets him further in the world.
He's so hard to work with in the classic series. He's only surrounded by robots.
Yeah.
That's the thing I like about him, is that he's a double-crossing backstabber that only has his own interest in mind, and he's just trying to get the Omnitrix so he can take over the universe and rule everybody.
And that Ben never truly ever beats him. He just ever is able to fight him off.
Yeah,
the next time,
right.
You know what I mean? Vilgax is never defeated.
Yeah.
He's just pushed down the road further,
You kick the can on down the road.
Yeah,
Even when Ben 10,000 allegedly, destroys him, or, he's all pulped, beat to a pulp, he still comes back.
And he's juiced, dude. Beating the crap out of Ben. And then in this series, Ben just so easily fights Vilgax is just another villain.
Yeah.
But we go to Primus. Vilgax decides he's going to go to Primus.
They're teleported there from the Omnitrix. Even though if it's going to teleport somebody, it should just teleport Ben.
Well, I think it was going to, but it did a force field thing. So they ran into it.
But why would it force field? Why wouldn't the teleport? I guess to have everybody there.
Yeah. The plot.
The plot.
So we get to see Primus, and this is the part I love so much about this episode is the lore behind Primus is so cool. The exposition and the expansion of the lore of the Omnitrix, its origins, how it works, and what it is.
Yeah.
It's just so cool. Yes, it's so cool. Because we always question it, kind of. I think in the back of our head, that watch holds tens of millions of alien
samples,
species in it, That's insane. How does that work? And then you realize, no, it's just a receiver. It's a transmitter thing. That's cool. That's super cool.
Planet worth of codon for all the DNA samples to be in and everything.
Exactly.
Because he said there's samples from all over the universe in this, which I know we kind of argue that a bunch. He's probably only sampled from the 5 galaxies or whatever.
Yeah, because he says I'm the smartest being in 5 galaxies, and then they save the galaxy from the hybrids, but then later they're like, I saved the whole universe. Didn't. They were only on this galaxy that they were focused on. You know what I mean? And then you've got the Andromeda 5, you've got the monsters from their galaxy. Yeah, but then I think they just fall back sometimes. They just kind of forget the writing a little bit.
Yeah, it's the little details, and that's stuff that us fans will realize, but maybe a writer doesn't exactly know and stuff.
So then we get Azimuth fighting Vilgax. Azimuth is the creator of the Omnitrix. He's 10 times smarter than Ben, 20 times smarter than Ben.
Well, even again, here we go. If we're talking about regression of characters, we talked about how Vilgax is so different from how he was in Classic. Azimuth is a completely different character. And we've talked about this before. Yes. Obviously, why he has to be different, because if you're going to introduce him as a mentor character, he needs to be more of whatever.
He has to get nerfed.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, even in The Secret of the Omnitrix, he doesn't like that it's used as a weapon. And here we go. Azimuth is just resorting to using it as a weapon. And maybe that's just his hypocrisy. Maybe that's just showing he really is no better than Ben. He's just sort of claiming higher moral standing. Mm-hmm. Until he actually needs to fight off Vilgax using the watch. And it was given to him without him asking for it.
Yeah.
But it was a fail-safe kind of thing.
He's also using aliens that we've seen.
Yeah.
And I get this is not the time to introduce a new alien, but that's where it's hard to believe that Azimuth wouldn't have the perfect alien.
Alien X.
That he would know. Well, I don't think he would mix well with Bellicus. But there's an alien in there that easily beats Vilgax.
You could say Atomics is maybe more powerful. Yeah. Something, like a way
Clockwork,
big.
Something.
Clockwork would be good, yeah.
Well, you could go way big, but he loses to Vilgax. He even turns into Wrath, who we just saw get blasted by a laser, beat an entire ship of incursion.
Yep.
People, it's just, and he loses. He drops some things, and then he comes out as little Azimuth. He passes out. And it's frustrating.
He also made them note, he's like, I'm out of practice. But it's like, okay, you should not be using it.
Yeah.
You just created it for like a walk a mile in your shoes / Noah's Ark
Paul
type deal.
been here to have him help you.
Yeah. Well, he didn't. I mean, it wasn't his choice. It was like the mosquito guy. He says the name and
I can't remember it.
Scientific whatever. But he like that brings it to Azimuth on accident because it was like a fail-safe deal.
Yeah.
So he wasn't. I don't think it was just kind of like, oh, I got to fight now. I got the Omnitrix. I got to fight now. He's wearing it around his belt like a.
Around his it's actually like his whole midsection. It's like half his body.
I do like that detail because Gray Matter had it like on his back.
Yeah.
So I like that at least like a bit of continuity. Like it's big. It's too big to fit on like the Galvin wrist or whatever.
But we saw it fit to different people's wrists. We saw it fit to Grandpa Max's wrist.
I didn't love how it was like stuck into Vilgax's like flesh, like he like absorbed it into his tentacles or something.
The whole Vilgax thing is bothersome to me again because we see these problems with Azimuth, right? And then Vilgax gets the watch. And I know we talked about in the previous episode about how the watch has changed. He doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
It changed for Ben too, and he was able to change into Swamp Fire at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
You're Vilgax. You're a conqueror of 10 freaking planets. You've got all these special powers. You can't figure out press 2 buttons and press it down.
Yeah.
You can't figure out how to work the Omnitrix. You were tapping it like a freaking pro in Classic.
Your finger was turning red and tapping it.
Yes. You knew everything
do
about
the finger
it.
red thing, Vilgax.
He said, Ghost Freak, Brainstorm. It's like, you would call them their alien names.
I'd love to. He turns into goop, and he's like, oh, the power is unlimited. I'm such a powerful being. You've got way more powers in your normal kit than goop has.
Yeah, exactly. Which he never wanted the Omnitrix for himself. He wanted to build himself an army.
Yeah, true, true.
So it's like, it's just such a regression for Vilgax that I hate watching him struggle to control something that's been his life's mission since he heard about it.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
We mentioned this in the last time we talked about it too, but it reset and probably changed how it works.
What I'm saying, Ben figured out the reset.
Oh, sure.
Instantly. Yeah. Vilgax has way more knowledge about it. He should be able to figure out the reset.
Not even to mention, how did we get like a little bit of Ghost Freak in this?
Yeah.
That he tells him, "Oh, go to Primus."
Yeah.
But how does Ghost Freak know that? Was he trapped on Primus? Like his consciousness was trapped on Primus? Maybe.
Like
that's where the DNA
how he
was.
Gets in Omnitrix is still a little murky,
Murky and perky as well.
Oh.
You like that?
That's a good one.
I'm always perky, bro.
Yeah. But I don't, and this is what frustrates me because this episode could have been so cooperative.
This episode, I don't know if you feel the same way, but this feels like a season finale. This feels like, we get the Ghost because there's only a couple episodes. Maybe they thought here's another bit of speculation on my part, but maybe they thought because their first season was cut up into 2 seasons, right? Yeah. The Hybrid War was cut into 2 seasons. Maybe they thought, oh, this will get cut up into 2 seasons, so we can put all of our dumb filler stuff in a different season and have the Vilgax Ghost Freak stuff being one kind of continuous thing. Because there's only about 3 or 4 episodes with Vilgax in it, and it does lead up into this. I know I said there's no arc in one of our past episodes, but there is kind of continuity with Vilgax. Like he comes and loses to Bim, and then he comes back and asks for help with Ghost Freak, and then he's back here trying to take the Omnitrix after he learned the secrets from Ghost Freak. So there is a bit of continuity there, but would this work? I mean, this almost needs like a movie's worth of time.
Yeah.
To kind of really flesh out the ideas we're looking for.
Yeah.
Because it's very quick. It's Ben loses the Omnitrix. That's a huge deal. We've only seen that 2, maybe 3 times. They pull it off in the Null Void in Back with a Vengeance, I think it's called.
Yeah, I think
Is that the Vilgax Kevin team-up episode?
Mm-hmm.
And they also pull it off him in Secret of the Omnitrix, and they also pull it off him here. And from here on, whenever it comes off, it's not as big of a deal.
Never.
But it used to be huge continuity that you cannot take the Omnitrix off of Ben because it's bonded with his DNA. Now that's not even a factor.
No, it's more of an actual watch. Not part of you.
It just comes off so easy. It floats up like a Green Lantern ring when a Green Lantern dies or something. I was like, what? It's disappointing. It doesn't feel the same as the Omnitrix we know and love. There
are some comedy bits in this. You get Kevin being like, quick, chew off the chains. And it's all silent. And Asmus looks at him for a good second before he speaks. I am not a rodent. And it's so funny. And then you get when Ben's like, it's okay, Azimuth, we'll get him for you. And he's patting him on the head. He's like, did you just there me? And I'm like, imagine how emasculating that is. You know what I mean?
That is funny in a vacuum, I guess. The I don't like why would Azimuth know about thering? Like,
Yeah.
why, it's such a like a human thing to do.
I mean, he knows about Noah's Ark.
That's true too. Now that's very true. I also don't know how the power dampening headbands work.
No, they said it was like a neural thing. So maybe when you like your mind fires neurons to activate your powers. Maybe when that happens, it goes bad. You zap a zap.
But see, wouldn't Kevin be able to break out of that because it's in his genes? You know, like he's not like it's
like
not
it may
like
not be
his
a conscious thought.
Right. It wouldn't be. He was already made of metal, so the metal could break out of the metal handcuffs or something.
True. Yeah.
I just there was I don't know. It worked for like X-Men where it's like, oh yeah, we isolated the gene and dampened the power and all that stuff. But like for Gwen, who's like an anodite, like half energy being, like I don't know if it works so well.
Yeah. We get Vilgax showing off a new power with the tornado.
Tornado breath, bro.
So weird. It
was funny though. I imagine.
Why do you need the Omnitrix? You've got the powers of 10 planets.
That's the thing, bro. For real. Like, just use your powers you've already got. Like, you've already conquered 10 worlds.
Goop.
You turn into goop.
You cut a rock, stalagmite, and then go, "Oh, powers is unbelievable."
Yeah,
look, I got to fit in a cup.
And then he turns big because of the codon stream.
Yeah, and then
that's what I'm saying. It feels like a season finale or like a movie, like where it's like, oh my god, now he's huge.
And then they break the seriousness of him fighting way big to be like, "Why are you hitting yourself?
Bro?"
And Kevin, I did like that. Kevin's like, classic. Yeah, I love Kevin.
It's like 11-year-old humor too.
Yeah.
What was that bit where he's like, his Omnitrix? They get teleported to Primus, and his Omnitrix, they're like fighting the little mosquito things, and he can't get it to work, and then he like shoots out little lasers, and it kind of like the code like goes over their faces and stuff, and he's like, "Yeah,
you're in trouble now. Take that."
You're not doing anything.
This works for 10-year-old Ben, kind of.
Yeah.
But I don't see 10-year-old Ben doing something that lame either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just, and that's the
especially
problem.
like you're in a dangerous situation. You were just teleported from your home to this place.
The sick place. Primus is such a sick.
It is a cool looking environment. Yeah. It's got like blue leaves on the trees and stuff.
That's it. Just and like you talk about it. It's great ideas, poor execution.
Poor execution, man.
And it's so disappointing.
I did like seeing Wrath talking Azimuth's voice.
Yeah, even though you're standing right in front of me,
I will hunt you down and destroy you, even though you're looking right at me. And you just see Vilgax's face like,
okay, get done with your speech, please.
Yeah, we're over this. Come on, hurry up.
Oh, Ben, I gotta go.
I don't know, man. Is there anything else? Lodestar in the beginning. Lodestar versus the Tekadons.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
This one was pink.
Yeah. They thought they'd already fought it and beat it, but they're like, oh, you get that bit of
He's stomping on his face. He's like, meh.
I think this is where you get the idea that maybe they're mass produced and like indestructible robots, even though they destroyed a ton of them. You know? They're supposed to be indestructible.
Yeah.
I loved when the hand we talked about it earlier, but when the hand like runs away and its little eyes are seeing stuff, it's totally the thing, right? Like you know what I'm talking about? With
100%.
The head like pops off.
Yeah,
I love that bit, dude. That's really great.
But yeah, this could have been a 10 out of 10 episode.
It could have been. It should have. This idea is really, really cool. Mm-hmm. It just feels rushed. It feels fast. It feels like Vilgax is out of character. Could have been a two-parter.
I feel like Benton suffers a lot from not having more two-parters in it.
Or just more time or energy dedicated to it. Like, it doesn't look the best either. Like, it looks all right, but there's some, it could have been more well animated. It could have had like a movie-level quality kind of. Yeah. I feel like War of the Worlds had really good animation. Like, bring some of that into this, Yeah. If it's a big episode that's establishing a lot of world building and lore, I think you put more effort into it.
Yeah. I give it a 5.
5? Yeah, I mean, I might give it like a 6. I like all the imagery. It's cool getting like, I guess, more stuff with Vilgax, but like you said, like his character's ruined.
Yeah. So the potential it had really drags me down.
Yeah.
Drags the rating down more.
I think both Vilgax and Azimuth are both out of character in this, which
and
is
we
just
don't even talk about it. Azimuth, you're cool with the watch now. Yeah, we're good. I'm still a little disappointed with you, but you go on ahead. Kevin. Hey, you should fix Kevin.
Yeah.
Nah, you guys can go on ahead. They don't even bring Kevin up.
He goes,
Azimuth is right there.
He says, he's like, I'm surprised I'm going to even let you leave with my Omnitrix. And he goes, are you? And he goes, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Shut up, bro.
Hey, my name's Kevin. I would like to come back to being a human, please. Anything.
You could probably fix me with your DNA technology.
The lack of care for something that's, because we see it in the next episode we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
It's eating Kevin alive.
Eating him alive.
You can't fix him.
Nope. Screw you, Kevin. You called me. You thought my teeth could chew through the bars of this.
That's a compliment, if anything.
Dude, I thought it was a really funny bit.
It is because it's the quietness before he starts talking. You know,
there's a lot of subtle humor like that kind of. Well, not subtle, but there's a lot of humor like that in Alien Force I enjoy. Yeah.
But so that brings us into
Time
heals, and again, great idea or execution.
Yeah.
I talk about this movie a lot, but there's the final movie in the DC animated universe where they fight.
It's like Justice League Dark.
Apocalypse War. Yeah, something like that. The stakes there are insane. So many of the heroes die. So many of them are dismembered, disfigured.
Yeah.
And eventually Barry Allen, as the Flash, runs back and creates Flashform to reboot, and they start a new animated universe. That one sucks. Don't watch any of those.
The Tomorrowverse or whatever it's called.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
It looks bad. Like,
it
it's
looks
poorly
bad,
animated.
yeah. And I really hate it because, just on a slight tangent, Jensen Ackles always is wanted to voice Batman. He finally gets to voice Batman in this new universe. The whole thing sucks. I feel like he got a bad hand in it.
Yep.
But the stakes there.
We still have that one episode from Supernatural where he gets lucky for whatever reason. He throws the pin and it like sticks in the gun.
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
Exactly. He played Red Hood and he's like, my next step is Batman kind of thing. Those stakes could have been in this if we were just a higher. I know they couldn't have in this at all, really. Yeah. But it would have been such a cool show, movie, special, or whatever if we had enhanced, like an upgraded maybe TV rating, had some more stuff, because we get Gwen who goes back in time to stop the watch from ever breaking. Yeah. And it leads to Charmcaster and Hex taking over.
Well, it's to help Kevin, right? Like,
yeah.
She's trying to save Kevin from being a hideous monster no one loves.
Except for her, sometimes.
That's just Kevin's point of view of it. Yeah. He's like, Gwen doesn't have time for me. She doesn't even like me anymore. Who would like me? Yeah. It's all self-depressive.
He's like, she says another time, that means I hate you, Kevin. I was like, what?
No. It was, he broke the doorbell, and she goes, I don't really care about that. And he goes, you hear that? She doesn't care that I broke the doorbell. That means she doesn't care about me.
Exactly. And first of all, before we, I want to get into it, it's not believable that Charmcaster and Hex win because of this change in the past. But we didn't see any stakes. We see Kevin turned into a rock monster minion, and Ben's tied up as a monkey.
Yeah.
We could have had like an armless Ben. He's got like a robot arm in the thing. We could have had a more emotional fight between Kevin and Gwen. Mm-hmm. They could, Gwen died off screen kind of thing. But then every time Gwen's fighting Charmcaster in this, she's beating Charmcaster.
Making jokes out of it too.
So you could have been like, instead, when Kevin got corrupted, Kevin's the one that turns and kills Gwen.
Yeah.
You could have had all these different stakes.
Yeah.
There's no meat in this. You know what I mean? There's no actual feeling of loss when she comes to the future for me.
Here's what I think happened, and this is probably true with a lot of Alien Force Season 3 stuff. Mm-hmm. You get like the series concept for a great episode, like a good idea for an episode, and then here comes Cartoon Network. Hey, this is made for babies.
Yeah.
Make this for babies, actually.
Which is not. I was 11 years old, and I was reading at a 10th grade level.
There's this point.
I've got the papers to prove it. Okay?
The autism report, the autism diagnosis.
You don't treat me like a baby face.
I'm reading at a 45-year-old man's degree.
Actually, I can handle this. Show me some blood. Maybe a titty or two.
Pop
a titty for the boys.
Yes, Charmcaster, pop a titty. So that's what I think. Yeah. Cartoon Network said, this is a baby show for babies that sells toys. And then, I want to say, so this is like 20, this is like 2009, 10 maybe. Yeah. Then we get Adventure Time that does Adventure Time, Steven Universe, all these shows that get a regular show, all these shows that get a more mature feeling and like a young adult vibe, these late teens kind of episodes and stuff.
Even Gumball.
Gumball is a baby show for babies, but it has really scary stuff in it sometimes.
Every time you say that, I see your wrath going, call you baby man, baby man.
This is a baby show for babies, baby.
Exactly.
But I think this is all Cartoon Network's doing, and it's just it's sad to see because this has the bones of something really cool and interesting.
It's got the meat just wasn't there. It was they did, and then Cartoon Network said, we'll take out the meat,
This is essentially Flashpoint.
Yeah.
With Gwen and Charmcaster and everything.
Yes. And that's the thing you said, I don't believe, because I don't believe they took over just because Kevin's not mutated.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like, well, it has to be because it's a Gwen-centered episode, and those are her villains, like we talked about. It's got to be them.
It's magic.
I think Gwen beats the crap out of them. How did she die in the original timeline?
I don't know. There's more opportunities for her to lose here because there's a world populated by rock monsters, assumedly.
She's outnumbered. She's emotionally distraught.
Yeah, essentially a powered up Charmcaster plus Hex. She lost to Charmcaster the first time around.
Yeah.
She got her power sucked out when it was just Charmcaster. Mm-hmm. Now we got Hex, who's the master of mysticism or whatever he likes to say.
It's just it's not believable. And then Ben that times out and he's like, I'll give you as much chance as you can. Yeah. If this was that, I keep picturing the Dark Side War thing. Yeah. Ben would have died. We would have seen Ben die. We would have seen the Omnitrix run off like a ring, trying to go back to Azimuth. Give us something to be like, oh shit, this is serious. You know what I mean?
Okay, so this is another thing just for power scalers, right?
Yeah.
And well, we know how much we love this conversation. So Ben is apparently multiversal, and he's better than He's better than Goku. He's better than Superman. All these characters. How come Trumpcaster can beat him right here?
Exactly. That's the because people hate hearing it, and we talked about this too. Ben 10 has Looney Tunes powers, not power scaling. It's the cartoon powers,
especially in Omniverse, bro.
Especially in Omniverse.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, the inconsistency of it. Like, how did Ben could have taken them on without Gwen and Kevin?
Sure.
Maybe they argue he loses the heart when Gwen dies. If he's there, Gwen doesn't die.
How is he chained up a spider monkey for so long?
Yeah, the watch time out and then he just falls out.
Yeah, I mean,
none of this makes sense.
I don't know, man. Like we keep saying, like this is really like I feel the good bones here.
Yeah.
But like even the time travel doesn't already make sense a lot of the time.
We get Paradox though. That's a plus.
That's what I was gonna say.
Love Paradox.
Paradox shows up. Hello, Gwen. Don't do this. It's gonna be a headache for me.
Have a gumball.
Have a gumball. Have a baby show for babies.
Baby man.
But he basically tells her, don't do this because you're going to start a big thing and it's going to be a headache for me and yada, yada. He's a time walker. He can go through, cross space or cross time or whatever this is. I assume this is like an alternate dimension because like the
it becomes
time
an
stream,
alternate timeline.
Yeah.
Like a branched timeline essentially.
Which I guess still exists even though Gwen like went back and,
like that
altered the
future will
events.
probably always exist.
Assumedly,
else,
yeah. I like the little posters of Hex. It looks like Japanese inspired propaganda.
I told you I said that's like the rising sun flag behind them. And I was like, I'm joking, obviously. But then you go and their lair is literally built like a Japanese thing. And I'm like, what? Hex, when we first saw him, was in Louisiana.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Oh, but he dripped out on this though.
Yeah,
he's got that little like boob window that
Yeah.
a lot of times girls have, but it's like showing off his abs, bro.
We're like, pop a titty for the girls.
Carrie
and the
Payton
boys.
comes back.
I want to see a pectoral.
The gray pectoral.
Yeah.
Carrie Payton comes back as Hex. We also get Kari Walgren, I think is her name, for Trumpcaster. Kari and Carrie is just a funny.
Yeah.
I never. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but so the time travel stuff I don't love because it doesn't make sense. There's like another Adventure Time thing when Jake like goes back. They're trying to save Prismo. Have you got that point?
I don't know. I know Prismo's like, you want a sandwich?
Yeah. Well, anyway, something happens to Prismo. They got to go save Prismo, so they go back in time to like recreate a thing that happens.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of like Finn stopping Finn from going in here. Jake stop. Jake can go do this, but Finn, we're gonna send Finn back. It's a whole paradox thing.
Yeah.
So I don't typically love those. We get 3 Gwens interacting at once, which should just explode the multiverse.
Yeah.
I don't.
They shouldn't all be interacting.
But it's magic time travel. It's not like scientific time travel like
Different.
Paradox has.
Completely different.
Feels a little different.
Yeah.
It's not though, is it?
Why does she need the book again to do it again? You know the spell.
You know the spell. I guess just the power of the book, like in the Mummy, like the Book of the Dead kind of thing.
Dumb.
I
I love the Mummy movies, dude.
It comes to a point where you got to kind of handwave a lot of it because like Gwen would immediately just go back to where she was and stop her from doing that if she knew.
She had the Lucky Girl outfit though. That was
cool. Yeah, the Lucky Girl outfit was back.
Sick. I don't know why she needed it, but whatever.
And then she walks back in the house with like a trench coat and glasses, like she's a deep.
Gwen, what are you doing here? Some sort of dominatrix moonlighter,
Yeah, they would say, Gwen, what is this outfit you got on here?
Yeah, for real. They didn't even question the unitard trench coat with glasses.
It's just how Gwen dresses sometimes, I guess. When she's moonlighting, that's how she dresses.
Yeah.
Anything spectacular? I liked Kevin's little rock monster fit he got going on.
Cool. Yeah.
Even though, like, I guess it makes sense. If she made him absorb the rock monster like material, like the rock, and then she like enchanted him, I guess it would work. Like it does work. Obviously,
it does work,
yeah. Even though he wouldn't have had his like amalgam form. So
we saw the cool fire versus water bit.
Oh yeah. Very waterbendery. Like, it's very much like. Interesting use of magic powers.
It's nice that she uses that because she was also kind of deformed into just shooting pink.
Yes,
like Gwen, which in Ben 10 Classic she used more magic.
There's like an interesting bit where Gwen like uses like a laser beam or something. It zaps
her and knocks her out.
So I don't know what that is. I like that. Do more of that, please.
Yeah.
How many DNA aliens could you have beaten by doing that?
Fly swatter. Unlimited power.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I would probably give it a 5.2 if you don't have anything else to say about it. I kind of the best way I can phrase it: amazing bones, poor execution.
Yeah,
it's not believable. It doesn't have any meat to it. No stakes really to really make you feel bad about this new timeline.
Not for real.
Nothing. The freaking Teen Titans one when Starfire goes into the
That's
future.
good.
That one's phenomenal.
That's a banger.
And it was written like 7 years before this. 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I love that, like, in that Garth is just like like a circus performer.
Yeah, he's a dancing
he's like,
monkey.
don't take me out of here. I'm comfortable here.
Yeah, I like being a pig. Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like 5,
Mm-hmm.
even maybe like a 4, since like Hex and Trumpcaster they don't do basically anything.
Yeah.
They're just there to like get beaten.
Yeah,
and
it
there's
makes
such a
you wonder how they won to begin.
Exactly, dude. And how would Kevin's amalgam form even have stopped them?
Yeah.
Ben
That's
is
what
the
I'm saying.
wielder of the Omnitrix.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't work all the time, but he's not going to get captured.
And then she wipes her memory at the end, so she doesn't even remember why she's floating in the air coming back from the future.
It's
or
like
from the different timeline.
Like I said, it's just nothing. It's a pointless episode.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so and we kind of speculated on this, but she doesn't remember doing any of that, even though she just got back from it. Because she hugs Kevin. She's like, "Oh, I did it for some reason. I forgot."
Yeah. And then she sees Paradox. What are you doing here? Nothing.
No, then bye bye.
Why were you here to begin?
Why would you show up in the first place? Especially if she doesn't remember.
Yeah.
But surely she would remember because she was the version that went and saw all the bad timeline stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Does she remember that? Did we ever get that? Like, whenever Paradox comes back, she's like, "Oh, that's like the time I went to that horrible
I don't
future."
think it's ever brought up again.
I don't think it's brought up again.
Yeah.
It's definitely not brought up in Omniverse.
Yeah.
Omniverse, a lot of the story, or a lot of the crew from Omniverse like hate UAF era.
Really?
It's evident too. They changed a lot of shit from UAF.
Dude.
Anyway,
Hey,
maybe not hate all of it, but they like some of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like just them getting rid of like Gwen and Kevin in the first episode, all the retcon shit with Kevin.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is this triple episode Power Hour that we've had. Thank you guys for watching these new, formats that we've been doing. Kind of like the new format. We can talk a little bit long form on it. Get more of them out to you guys at the same time.
Kind of combine topics as well. We don't have to think of we could have probably come up with good topics for all these individually, but I think they all share
the same problems,
Yeah.
especially these last two.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to reiterate, I like Alien Force Season 3.
Yeah.
It's not the best, but it's got some good stuff in it.
I don't know if I would say I like it.
I like it. I don't hate it. There's hate, don't care, and like.
A lot of my problems with Ultimate Alien are actually problems with Alien Force Season 3.
Yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to comment. We will be having another triple episode coming out later on this week. So be sure to comment, get your comments in fast so that when we're recording that one, we can have one of your comments on there.
Past that, we've got the two-parter
Yes.
finale, and then we're also going to do Alien Swarm because I really want you to suffer through that.
But we're looking to wrap up in the next 2 weeks probably.
Yeah, probably 2 weeks.
Probably 2 weeks. So stay tuned. We're excited for the way the channel can go from there. We got a bunch of things coming up. We've been keeping them on the back burner, just waiting to like kind of shoot them all out as soon as we got Ben 10 done. So a lot of good things coming towards the beginning of the summer. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye. Love you.